Like many of the farm families, the Lotts jarred and canned a lot of the fresh fruits and vegetables that they were growing. We have a cookbook titled Canning and Preserving from the family, and it has a variety of methods and recipes for canning vegetables, making jams, different ways in which they could preserve fresh fruits and vegetables to last them throughout the year. Among the recipes is brandy peaches. We're gonna make that recipe and share it with everyone. So for the brandy peaches, we're gonna start with a pound of sugar, which is essentially approximately 2 cups of sugar. And we'll then mix that with a little water and a pound of the fruit, a pound of peaches. So essentially 1 pound of sugar to 1 pound of fruit. But the first step is you're going to take the sugar and you're going to put it into a saucepan, into a deep pot. And then you're going to add a little bit of water so you can melt that sugar down and turn it into a simple syrup that you're going to allow to thicken. And the water will prevent the sugar from burning within the pot. Bring it over to the stove. Once this comes to a boil, you can lower the heat on the stove a little bit, let it thicken, and then you can add the peaches. Keep it at a low to medium heat for a little while, about 20 minutes or so. Could take a little longer depending on how ripe your peaches are. You want to cook them until they're tender. You'll want to transfer them into a sterile mason jar. Once your peaches are in the jar, you're going to want to mix equal parts of the syrup that the peaches were cooked in and brandy, and you're going to fill it to the top. When you're done, you're going to cap your mason jar, and you want to make it really tight. Since it's still warm, turn it upside down, and the heat will help vacuum seal your jar. And just let it sit until it cools for an hour or 2. Afterward, you can transfer them into the refrigerator for a few days, several days. They can stay a couple of weeks before you enjoy them. You can enjoy them with fresh homemade whipped cream or vanilla ice cream being my favorite. As a farm, one of the items that the Lotts grew was corn, and that corn would be brought to a local mill, Gerritson's mill, to be turned into flour. So we thought it might be interesting to make something that would have used that as an ingredient. So we're gonna make some corn muffins. We have a pint of flour, a pint of cornmeal, 1/3 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, a teaspoon of salt, 3 heaping tablespoons of baking powder, a tablespoon of melted butter, 2 eggs, and a pint of whole milk. You can put all your dry ingredients into the mixing bowl at one time, starting with you put the flour, the cornmeal, the 1/3 cup of sugar, not a lot of sugar, baking powder, baking soda, cream of tartar, the 1 teaspoon of salt. So before I put the wet ingredients in, I'm going to move the mixing bowl onto the mixer. Then I'm gonna add the pint of milk, 2 eggs, though you're never supposed to crack and open your eggs over what you are making. So we're gonna do this extra careful so we don't get any eggshell. Last ingredient, the 1 tablespoon of melted butter. Start mixing slowly. You just wanna scrape down at one point to make sure none of the dry ingredients are pooling at the bottom of the bowl. We'll just give it one last stir. There we have our corn muffin batter ready to go into our muffin tin. You want to fill it up to a little bit below the bottom. You don't want to overfill it too much. And these will go into a preheated 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes.